Good morning and welcome to this glorious celebration of academic achievement in our 175th year as an academic institution of higher learning. My name is Noel Wilkin and I have the honor of serving our university as Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. It is my great pleasure to introduce the 18th Chancellor of the University of Mississippi, Dr. Glenn Boyce.
Good morning and welcome to the historic Grove for the University of Mississippi's commencement, the absolute highlight of our academic year. Today represents the culmination of years of hard work and persistence. It's a special time marked by love and support from families, friends, faculty, and others. We're especially honored to celebrate this milestone achievement that you will cherish for the rest of your life, because for many members of our class of 2024 and their loved ones, today's celebration might be the first time that they got to experience a graduation ceremony in person. And we are so very, very proud that we could be that opportunity for you. To be here celebrating this class is especially rewarding because you experienced unprecedented global pandemic that impacted your personal lives and your educational journey towards this day. I know we are also grateful that things look and feel different now than they did 4 years ago. And I thank you for your role in that. You responded to those trying times with resilience, energy, and passion. It will go down in history that the class of 2024 is characterized by these factors: by your grit, by your determination, and by your perseverance. You not only weathered a tremendous storm, you thrived, and you have shaped who we are as a university. And we're grateful and thankful. We're inspired by you, and our teams have worked hard so that this magnificent class could be celebrated in a grand way. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have countless staff members who dedicate time, attention, and energy to this ceremony, and I'm especially grateful to the tremendous teams of facilities management and special events. Would all of you join me in a round of applause for everybody who made today happen? Commencement is a wonderful and rewarding event, and this year's ceremony is even more special as it coincides with the university's 175th anniversary. For 175 years, this beloved university has brought people together on a shared path to pursue the life-changing experience of higher education. So the first Ole Miss students graduated in 1851, but that first commencement, the absolute first commencement at the University of Mississippi, took place in July 1849, at the end of the new university's first academic year, although there were no degrees conferred. In the words of a university historian, the late Dr. David Sansing, that first commencement was a 4-day event. Surrounding the official program, it included sumptuous banquets, a commencement ball, many, many speeches, and a gala celebration. In 1851, by the time it was time to have the first true graduation ceremony, there were 15 graduates. Today, as we celebrate the class of 2024, 5,065 graduates are a part of your class. We're incredibly proud of that. It's amazing. It is humbling to think about the generations of Ole Miss graduates making their way into the world and leaving their impact on those around them. During today's ceremony, we're recognizing more than achievement. We are celebrating a journey of discovery and personal growth. Students, you have earned a higher education degree, and you are prepared to enter the world as Ole Miss graduates, ready to build legacies of excellence and contribute to the world in meaningful ways. You are prepared to live a full life of purpose because of your education and the experiences at this university. So we're all, and certainly I'm so excited to see where life takes you and all that you will accomplish. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you, and I can absolutely assure you, we are in the best of hands because the leadership that will walk away from the University of Mississippi in this class will take care of us for generations to come. And we all believe that, trust that, and we're counting on you, class of 2024. Now, I'd like to take and introduce Mr. Ontarius Woodland, who will lead us as we sing our national anthem. Would you please stand?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I was told we were in for something special, ladies and gentlemen. How about one more round of applause? Was that not incredible? We give thanks for this beautiful day when we welcome families and friends to the graduate ceremony. Many of you traveled great distance to see your sons and daughters, spouses, relatives, or friends receive diplomas, and others are joining by live stream. Wherever you are participating in today's ceremony, our graduates are grateful for your support and your encouragement. Now, graduates, I would imagine there was a few times where some late-night calls went to family and friends and parents. I would imagine there was a few times when you didn't want to make those calls to family, friends, and parents, but you made them anyways. And parents, I was pretty sure that there was probably a few times that they called and said, hey, could you check my, accounts and so on and so forth, different things. And I'm not sure that I can make it. And yet they were always there. They built your foundation. They loved you from the first moment that they saw you at birth. Graduates, it's our tradition to give you a moment to stand and express your appreciation to those who loved, encouraged, and supported your years at Ole Miss. Let's stand and give them a rousing round of applause. Thank you. The men and women of our faculty have committed their lives to the mission of teaching, research, and service. I'm going to say that one more time. Students, the men and women of our faculty have committed their lives to our mission of teaching, research, and service. They have taught, challenged, mentored, nurtured, and inspired our graduates while helping them prepare for the future. They have also established friendships that will continue for a lifetime. Many years from now, whenever these graduates reflect on their time, and you will reflect on your time at this great university, I can promise you, graduates, that faculty member who inspired you, that faculty member who challenged you, even that faculty member that from time to time you just did not want to see, will pop into your mind instantly, and you will know in that moment where your inspiration to lead a meaningful life came from. Would you join me in thanking this world-class faculty at the University of Mississippi? I'm pleased now to welcome Provost Wilkin back to the podium.
Thank you, Chancellor Boyce. I am pleased to introduce the distinguished and dedicated platform party that leads the university and joins us to commend our graduates. As I introduce you, please stand and remain standing. I ask the audience to please hold your applause until all are introduced. Ms. Charlotte Parks, Vice Chancellor for Development. Mr. Keith Carter, Vice Chancellor for Intercollegiate Athletics. Mr. Jim Zook, Vice Chancellor for Marketing and Communications. Mr. David Wickham, Chief Legal Officer and General Counsel. Mr. Perry Sansing, Associate General Counsel and Special Assistant to the Chancellor for Governmental Affairs. Dr. Stephen Holley, Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance. Dr. Charlotte Pegues, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs and Assistant Professor of Leadership and Counselor Education. Dr. Greg Eason, Interim Vice Chancellor for Research and Sponsored Programs and Professor of Geology and Geological Engineering. Dr. Rich Forget, Associate Provost and Professor of Political Science. Professor Virginia Chavis, Associate Provost, Professor of Art and Art History. Dr. Jennifer Simmons, Assistant Provost. Professor Cecilia Botero, Dean and Professor of University Libraries. Dr. Ethel Skurlock, Dean of the Sally McDonald Barksdale Honors College and Associate Professor of English and African American Studies. Dr. Dan Durkin, Associate Professor of Social Work and Faculty Senate Chair. Our student leaders joining us on the platform today are Sarah Austin Welsh, Associated Student Body President for the 2023-24 academic year. Jiwon Lee, Graduate Student Council President for the 2023-24 academic year. The remainder of our platform will be introduced as they come forward to participate in this ceremony. Would you please express your appreciation to this distinguished platform party? Each year, we award faculty and staff members for their outstanding work in helping students grow through research, creative achievement, teaching, and service. Joining our platform party today are some recipients of our most prestigious awards. These award winners received more formal recognition of their accomplishments at earlier ceremonies. I ask that the award recipients stand when I call their name and remain standing until all awards are recognized. The Frist Student Award recognizes university employees who go above and beyond the call of duty to demonstrate their commitment to helping students thrive during their time at the university. This award is given to a faculty member and a staff member selected for their exceptional service to students. I am privileged to introduce to you Dr. Andy Chang, Associate Professor of Elementary Education and this year's winner of the Frist Faculty Award. Tracy Kozlowski, Lecturer, Associate Director of Recruitment and Development, Intensive English Program, and this year's winner of the Frist Staff Award. It is a great privilege for me to also introduce the 2024 recipients of the University of Mississippi's Distinguished Research and Creative Achievement Award. Created in 2008, the award is the university's highest honor for faculty success and outstanding accomplishment in research, scholarship, and creative activity. This year's recipient is Dr. Nathan Hammer, Professor of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Each year, as part of our honors convocation, we recognize two of our most outstanding teachers with our premier teaching awards, the Elsie Hood and the St. Amand Outstanding Teaching Awards. While at the university we have varied awards for teaching, these are the top honors that a faculty member can earn for excellence in teaching. This year, Dr. Timothy Nordstrom, Professor of Political Science, was the recipient of the Elsie M. Hood Outstanding Teaching Award, and Dr. Tejas Pandya, Instructional Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, was this year's recipient of the St. Amand Outstanding Teaching Award. Please help me congratulate these outstanding award recipients. Earlier this week, our doctoral students were hooded in a separate special ceremony. We asked them to please stand so we can recognize them. Now, I'll turn things over to Isha Gudaseva, Senior Class President, who will give remarks.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. So, when I decided to come to this university 4 years ago, I looked forward to the short commute from Memphis, my home, and Oxford. I envisioned long afternoons in Vaught Hemingway under the grueling Mississippi sun in the north end zone, Saturdays in Swayze, and sitting courtside at the pavilion cheering our basketball teams on. Sure, school would be school, and I knew I would make friends, but I had no real definition of Ole Miss. What I did not share with many of my peers was a deep personal connection to the University of Mississippi. Although I lived 50 miles north my entire life, my parents grew up 9,000 miles away in India. Many people may have memories of coming to Oxford as kids, having heard wild and exciting tales from their siblings, cousins, parents, or grandparents when they were romping around the grove, and other stories of their youthful adventures, all which fall into the cushion that is this velvet ditch, a concept that was foreign to me at the time. I know I'm not the only student that came here without these generational memories. However, I quickly became fond of the old stories I heard. This campus has a rich oral history emblematic of the South. It's a special, warm feeling. Ole Miss quickly became a mismatched quilt of traditions and experiences, old and new, that I've heard and now lived myself. And ultimately, this graduating class each wrote a new and unique chapter during their time here. To all the graduates, take your Ole Miss history and share it with the world. Take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and produce your own creation from it. As a member of the Ole Miss family, lean on your friends and mentors as you go into the next chapter of your life, as you go into your next endeavors. Share the story of the time you drove to Omaha to see the Rebs get hot. Share the time a snowstorm closed the school for a week and the entire freshman class had a snowball fight in the Grove. Share how we watched Riley Green, dancing orientation leaders, or the Pride of the South perform on this very stage. Share the first test you failed and the next, and how you found out you can only freshmen forgive up to 12 hours, yet how you are still sitting in the Grove today with a degree. Share the time you graduated for the first time at your beloved alma mater, as many of us did not have a graduation ceremony in 2020. The memories made here are cherished to us personally, but can inspire others to lead lives of courage and enthusiasm. Someone once wrote, "The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you discover why." To the class of 2024, I commend you all for seeking out your why and for being brave enough to come to college during a global pandemic, especially those who are the first in their family. And finally, I commend you all for being brave enough to go forward from here and continue to grow beyond your educational careers in Oxford. As senior class president, I am tasked with announcing the senior class gift. This year, our gift will be made in the form of a donation to the William McGee Center for Alcohol and Other Drug Abuse and Wellness Center. As someone who once saw Ole Miss as just an athletics program, I appreciate the well-rounded nature of the community here. Here, there are scholars, artists, engineers, poets, educators, and athletes in our midst. But in order to be all of these things, we need a foundational level of support and well-being that the William McGee Center provides through its educational services and plans of action as opposed to reaction. I have personally been impacted by the efforts of this amazing program and am excited for our legacy to be imparted with this gift. As we prepare to embark on the next chapter of our lives, let us remember the importance of taking care of ourselves and each other. This weekend, I hope you all say thank you to your parents and guardians, your instructors, the people who keep this place looking like the #1 most beautiful college campus in America, to those who listened, and to those who kept you safe and provided for you. And then say goodbye to Ole Miss, who will never say goodbye to you, but in a loving voice born on whispering southern breeze, will always be calling to your heart's fond memories. Once again, congratulations to all the graduates. And if you see me out tonight, purple Gatorade shots on my dad. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Gudaseva. Ms. Karen Moore is president of the Ole Miss Alumni Association and is from Nashville, Tennessee. Please welcome Ms. Moore.
Chancellor Boyce, Provost Wilkins, member of the Platform Party, faculty, graduates, and friends. I'm both humbled and honored to be able to speak today on behalf of the Ole Miss Alumni Association. Let me first say congratulations to all the graduates. I graduated 40 years ago. I was a kid from a small town in Tennessee. I had no plans to come to Ole Miss. Not knowing a soul, I arrived here on an unlikely path. I soon realized that Ole Miss would be a major character in my story. It started a chain reaction. I met my husband here. All 5 of my siblings came here. 10 of my 14 nieces and nephews attended Ole Miss, and all 3 of my children. I found my friends here. I found them in the seats next to me at graduation. But more importantly, I continue to find them year after year through my involvement on campus with the Alumni Association and all the other ways I stay involved. My closest friends are in the Ole Miss family. We share this common bond, and that bond has turned into so many other enriching parts of my life. I know the same will be true for you if you commit to staying connected, not just now, but in all of your seasons. Your class made it through COVID, which took some experiences from you, but don't see that as a negative. See that as training for the unexpected twists that you will encounter in life when you least expect it. So do come back often, and when blessed with success, please do give back with your energy and finances. Help the next generation of students enjoy the same experience that you have had. I encourage you to stay connected with Ole Miss through a membership in the Alumni Association. As an active member, you will become part of the fabric that binds us all together. No matter where your road leads, and don't worry if you don't have that answer today, know that this is your home and these will be your people. And wherever you land, find your Ole Miss people there. The Alumni Association is more than a sticker on the back of your car. It's a pathway to connectivity. So after graduation, please join us for a champagne toast at the Triplet Alumni Center to celebrate this momentous occasion. And congratulations and hotty toddy.
Thank you, Karen. It is now my honor and pleasure to introduce our distinguished commencement speaker, Wright Thompson. Mr. Thompson, we're so grateful that you're here today, and thank you, Wright. We appreciate it deeply. To our students and guests, we are fortunate to hear his story and learn about the legacy he has built. Mr. Thompson's presence here today is also special, not only because he is a member of our community, but also because he's the outstanding voice you heard during our national TV commercial spot that aired for the last 2 football seasons. Wright Thompson is an acclaimed writer, reporter, and literary figure. He's originally from Clarksdale, Mississippi, and he has a deep connection with the South. In an essay he published for Garden and Gun magazine in 2021, he vividly describes a road he has traveled countless times across the Mississippi Delta, from Yazoo City to Greenwood, that is etched in his memory. And it's that vividness that I'm about to read that speaks to his writing. I know this journey cold. Surely you've got a road like that, a drive you can make without even thinking, each turn and straight, carefully wrapped and stored in the closets of your memory. I've ridden this road hundreds of times. From his formative years in Clarksdale, Mr. Thompson attended the University of Missouri for college. There he made his mark as a columnist and sports writer for the Columbia Missourian, a 114-year-old newspaper that serves the city of Columbia and is staffed by faculty and staff from the acclaimed University of Missouri School of Journalism. Following graduation, Mr. Thompson swiftly established himself in the world of professional journalism. He worked at renowned newspapers, including the Kansas City Star, the Times-Picayune. He covered major sporting events like the Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby, and the Masters. In 2006, he joined ESPN full-time, where he remains a senior writer. Mr. Thompson's legacy is characterized by his prolific writing and tremendous literary ability. He writes across the diverse array of topics and genres. As a sports writer, he has profiled iconic figures such as Joe Montana, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods. Notably, he served as the editor for the Best American Sports Writing in 2015, and a collection of his articles and essays were published in a 2019 book, The Cost of These Dreams, Sports Stories and Other Serious Business. In 2018, he joined forces with John T. Edge to create the James Beard Award-nominated show, True South, an SEC network television show that tells stories of their home region through the personalities and distinctive culture of the region's beloved restaurants. And in 2020, he achieved the New York Times bestseller status with the publication of Pappyland, a story of family, fine bourbon, and the things that last. This September, Penguin Random House will release his newest book, The Barn, which is about a pivotal event in American history, the life and tragic murder of Emmett Till. Early praise for The Barn describes it as this: an incredible history of a crime that changed America, an important, diligently researched and beautifully rendered story, and an arresting, insightful book. Fellow Mississippi writers have lauded his skill. John Grisham wrote that Mr. Thompson has masterful attention to drama, suffering, courage, conflict, and vivid detail. Richard Ford applauded Thompson's ability to stylishly, intelligently, and deftly keep storytelling at the heart of his reporting. Mr. Thompson has received major awards. He was the inaugural winner of the Dan Jenkins Medal for Excellence in Sports Writing and received a Sports Emmy for an article on fishing for catfish with barehanded fishing. Thompson also won the Media Eclipse Award for a long-form article on horse racing. Wright Thompson's career demonstrates that drive and passion can take us far. He shows us that it is a true gift to search for meaning and truth. His writing has the ability to entertain, move, educate, and enlighten us. So to the class of 2024, you too have this ability to be insightful, curious, and diligent in your ambition and the works you create. My hope is that you, like Mr. Thompson, will approach the world with drive, intelligence, and keen pursuit of the stories and truths that make meaning of the world. As you prepare your next steps in building your legacy, I know that Wright's come here today with inspiring words. Please join me in welcoming Wright Thompson, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, good morning, everybody. It is early. I kind of want that 2:30 CBS graduation kickoff. This is really early. All those people are still asleep, so you guys should give yourselves a huge round of applause for making it. That's really good. Y'all look great. You look great. You smell kind of like high noon and regret, but you look great. Like, it's kind of wafting off of you. We're gonna need to find Isha's dad later. Full confession, Isha and I did a shot of Fireball upstairs, so it was some liquid courage. Thank you so much, Chancellor Boyce, for that introduction. I want to thank the Chancellor, Provost Wilkin, the folks on the platform this morning. I'd never heard the phrase platform party until like 3 hours ago, but that's what this is apparently. And all of us I know, as they've already done, want to welcome faculty, staff, parents, families, guests, students, and obviously most important, the graduating class of 2024. My name is Wright Thompson, as he said. I'm a native of Clarksdale, Mississippi. We got any Clarksdale folks here? Somebody? They don't let us leave, 38614. So that's not surprising. My most recent book, as he mentioned, is Pappyland, and it's about bourbon and nostalgia. Nostalgia comes from the Greek words for home and pain, which I think is perfect. And I remember the first time I laid out my super pompous grand literary theory for Pappyland to my wife Sonia, and she listened intently and nodded and then said, "Oh, so you wrote Eat, Pray, Love for Dads." And she loves to make fun of me for my perpetual dad energy. So with that in mind, here are 10 brief pieces of totally unsolicited advice to mark this special day. And I guess to live up to my obligation as the speed bump between Bloody Marys and brunch. So number 10, enjoy today. This is a really special day. I graduated from college exactly 23 years ago, and I cannot for the life of me remember who my commencement speaker was. And I've been trying, and I just can't remember their name, but here's what I do remember. I remember raising pints of Guinness with my friends and feeling like something impossible had been completed and that something mysterious was about to begin. I remember my father's handshake and his look of pride. You know, he's been gone for almost 20 years now, and I remember in that moment, I remember it so clearly, feeling like I had somehow changed in his eyes. I treasure that feeling, the unspoken volumes that passed between us in that moment. I remember my parents gave me this really nice wooden box with like a message of congratulations on the inside. And that brings me to number 9, and one of the most important things, thank your family. It's fitting that this is in the Grove, which feels like a place for families to me. I've been to this Grove so many times. We used to park here back in the time before tents, if you can believe that. I was a child here. I've brought my children here. My grandmother, Myrna, went to Ole Miss and graduated in the 1930s. My Uncle Reeves, my dad, his brothers, Will and Michael. This Grove has been the site of so many family reunions for us and probably for a lot of you. My cousin Rebecca Tyner is graduating today. Where are you, Becca? Yes. So if you're from out of town, the 3 most precious things in Oxford, Mississippi are real estate close to the square, being able to get a parking spot, and finding babysitters. So I was secretly hoping you were gonna flunk today. By the way, I have a 3 and a 6-year-old, and if anybody wants to babysit, you should find me afterwards, because we're now unfortunately in the market. It's funny being here, and I was just talking to Keith Carter, being here and talking about my childhood for some reason makes me remember the old Ole Miss football player Buford McGee. I don't know if any of you guys remember Buford McGee, but he popped into my head this morning. And so if anybody is in touch with him, just please let him know that he was toasted today with great affection. I just saw it earlier. There's a quote in the Union that says how your time at the University of Mississippi ends, but you never leave Ole Miss. And if the Lyceum is the spiritual center of the university, then I think this Grove, especially when the sunlight splashes off of the brass of the band, is the spiritual center of Ole Miss. And this feels like a memory space to me, and I'd like us all to take a moment to remember. And if you're a parent, look at your graduate. Remember when they were born, the terrifying ride home from the hospital, the funny way they used to pronounce words. One of my kids calls it a Marotte control, and I love that so much and am already mourning when they figure out how to say it correctly. And think about all of that and then measure the distance between then and now. It's pretty incredible. I get a little weepy trying to imagine, one of my girls sitting out there having worked this hard and accomplished this thing, and it's really, really impressive. So today is a celebration of you graduates, obviously, but it's also a celebration of the networks of people who loved you into being. And just please give your guardians and families and the people who got you here a tremendous round of applause. Number 8, and it's time for some tough love. If you remember nothing else about this speech, remember this. There's a bar and restaurant on the square called the City Grocery, and all the regulars call it with great affection, the Grocery. Now there's some weird new trend, maybe a decade old, of people calling it City. Rebecca, I'm looking at you. It is not City, it is the Grocery. You're adults now, almost college graduates, so act like it. Although I feel like doing a fireball shot means I've lost all moral authority. So I probably Probably shouldn't have done that. Number 7, be happy for other people's success. You can be competitive with yourself, and you should be, but be generous and gracious with everyone else. There's plenty of success to go around. Run your own race. 6, I'm sure a lot of you share this with me, but growing up in a house in the South, there are always a lot of needle points. And one of them, which belonged to my dad, I think about all the time and felt appropriate for this setting. And it said, when your work speaks for itself, don't interrupt. We had another one that makes me giggle that was in our kitchen. And I've been trying in the last couple of days to figure out where this one went, but I don't know. But it said, don't try to teach a pig to sing. It wastes your time and annoys the pig. Number 5, be empathetic. There isn't a single more threatened human emotion currently than empathy, threatened by AI, by social media, by even the daily rhythms of life. This morning I stopped at a gas station on the way here, and as always, I realized I was spending a lot more time staring at the keypad than I was making eye contact with a fellow human being. We are, as a culture, truly in danger of losing our ability to connect. So walk in someone else's shoes. Be super suspicious of people who are certain about their beliefs. Be comfortable not knowing, because that is always the first step on the road to knowledge. I think the most toxic divide in our culture right now actually isn't politics at all, but rather the divide between those who are empathetic and those who are not. The great philosopher Coach Yo once said, I love everybody, so keep bad energy away from me. She's actually like sneakily profound. A mob, even one you agree with, is always wrong. Gossip is always wrong. Walk through the world heart first. Number 4, don't be part of the problem. Mississippi has a lot of complex problems, maybe more than any other state, so don't add to them. Some of you were born here, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's all strive to be part of a Mississippi that is becoming, a place that is always reinventing itself. Some of you came here for college from out of state, and maybe you'll go back home, but if you decide to stay, do the work to understand where you live and our own unique history. And I'm talking about everybody now. You've got NGOs and charities who come to the Delta and do more harm than good. And down in Jackson, there are national political think tanks wielding huge expense accounts who use our history and those problems to beta test divisive ideas. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. Don't wear the seductive coats of nostalgia. And don't let anyone make you feel like there's no hope of a different tomorrow. Thomas Merton, the monk and philosopher who I love, talked so eloquently about how having hope is required to exist, and I love that. To exist means you must hope. Throughout the history of our state, and if you've gone to Ole Miss, it's your state too. It is all of our state. There have been brave men and women, some of them famous, like Governor Winter or Fannie Lou Hamer, others anonymous, like Willie Reed or Moses Wright, who didn't let the math or cynicism deter them from reaching for a future that still awaits us all. Be one of those people. Number 3, reinvent yourself. Go anywhere, be anything. Today isn't the end as much as it feels like that, it's the start. This is a chance, and super frankly, it will be one of the last chances many of you ever have to leave behind the strings of your past and be reborn into something wholly new. Don't be scared. Don't let the opportunity slip past. You have no idea at 21 or 22 how different time feels at 47. There is nothing more precious. You get one trip around the rock. Make it count. Number 2, Mississippi needs you. We need writers, We need accountants and lawyers and school teachers and financial advisors. We need musicians and producers and filmmakers. We need public servants. There's probably a future governor of Mississippi sitting in this crowd somewhere. We need all of you. I love my Mississippi. My Mississippi, as he mentioned, is the Delta. Highway 49, Highway 1, Highway 61 running from Alligator to Duncan to Shelby to Mount Bio, Raymond's in Clarksdale, the White Front in Rosedale, the Blue Front in Bentonia. I love the smell of defoliant. I love the way the sun glows orange when it's coming up over the levee. I love Bullies in Jackson. Forget that tired old thing about the Peabody Lobby and Vicksburg. The Delta, if you ask me, really begins at Pop's Hot Tamales up in Orange Mound, and it ends at the steam table at Bullies. So get down there and get some of that. And find your own Mississippi and love it. Teach other people how to love it too. The Mississippi of William Faulkner and Kiese Lehman, of Natasha Trethewey and Willie Morris, of Tennessee Williams and Jesmyn Ward. The Mississippi of Nate Dogg, of Muddy Waters, of Skip Coon, Jimmy Buffett, Conway Twitty, and Sam Cooke. Mississippi needs you. It needs all of you. We need your best. And finally, number one, I still have that graduation gift that my parents gave me. It's in my house, not that far from here. And I mean, if my house caught on fire, I think it would be the one thing I grabbed. And the words inscribed inside are the ones that I'd like to leave you with, the class of 2024. On the inside of the little lid, it says, "Step now into the waiting world, but never forget the way back home." Never forget the way back home. God bless you and your families. Congratulations. This is a tremendous accomplishment. And I really hope you'll indulge me something. I've always wanted to do this, and this is the closest I think I'll ever get to knowing what it feels like to be Archie Manning. So I have one question for you guys. You're all college grads, and you have the future stretched out in front of you like an open road. And so, are you ready? That was every bit as cool as I wanted it to be. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Right, thank you for sharing your valuable insights, advice, and words of encouragement. We will now confer degrees on all candidates for graduation. All candidates have been or will be presented with their diplomas in individual school ceremonies. Before we proceed, I'd like to note that today's ceremony includes many scholars who have taken varied paths from undergraduate to graduate students, and that started under unprecedented circumstances. Today is a testament to your persistence and your success. We thank you for being part of this wonderful community of scholars. We would now like to recognize the candidates for degrees by school or college. I will introduce each dean, who will then come forward and present the graduates of the school or college. At this time, I recognize Dr. Lee Cohen, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Professor of Psychology. Dr. Cohen, will you please come forward?
Provost Wilkin, I'm pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the College of Liberal Arts. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Professor Slaybach, Dean of the School of Law and Professor of Law. Graduates, please remain standing.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Viola Akoff, Dean of the School of Engineering and Professor of Mechanical Engineering.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the School of Engineering. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. David Rock, Dean of the School of Education and Professor of Curriculum and Instruction.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the School of Education. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Donna Strum, Dean of the School of Pharmacy, Executive Director of the Research Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and Professor of Pharmacy Administration.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for the degrees in the School of Pharmacy, including those candidates for the Doctor of Pharmacy. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Ken Syree, Dean of the School of Business Administration, Frank R. Day, Mississippi Bankers Association Chair of Banking, and Professor of Finance.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the School of Business Administration. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
The Graduate School awards the Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Arts, Specialist, and Master's degrees. At this time, I'll ask Dr. Annette Cluck, Dean of the Graduate School and Professor of Leadership and Counselor Education, to come forward.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the Graduate School. Will those candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Mark Wilder, Dean of the Patterson School of Accountancy and KPMG Chair of Accountancy.
Provost Wilkin, I'm pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the Patterson School of Accountancy. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Pete Grandjean, Dean of the School of Applied Sciences and Professor of Exercise Science.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present candidates for degrees in the School of Applied Sciences. Will candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Andrea Hickerson, Dean of the School of Journalism and New Media and Professor of Journalism.
Provost Wilkin, I'm pleased to present the candidates for degrees in the School of Journalism and New Media. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Dr. Tony Amater, Associate Provost, Dean of General Studies, and Associate Professor of Management and Management Information Systems.
Provost Wilkin, I am pleased to present the candidates for the Bachelor of Multidisciplinary Studies and Bachelor of University Studies degrees. Will the candidates please stand and remain standing?
Chancellor Boyce, I have the honor to present these candidates who have been recommended by their respective deans and have been approved by a vote of the university faculty for the various university degrees.
This is the greatest part of my year. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the state institutions of higher learning, the university faculty recommending, I now confer upon each of you the degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, immunities, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show this class how proud we are of them. It's time to stand and give them all the attention. You may be seated. Across the world, these ceremonies are referred to as graduation or commencement. You have come to this special place and built a piece of your legacy by completing your work as students at the university. You graduated. You also begin the next chapter in your life. You commence. Our collective prayer for each of you is a life filled with purpose and passion, good health, and ongoing love of learning, successful, meaningful careers, joy, and genuine and deep connections with friends, family, and loved ones. As you go forward in life, I know you will be outstanding and passionate ambassadors for Ole Miss through your example, continuing your trajectory of accomplishment and fulfilling your dreams in the process. And remember that we are always here cheering on your successes, always eager to welcome you home whenever you return to the spot that ever calls. God bless each of you, and hotty toddy.
Details of the college and school ceremonies are on the commencement website. The University of Mississippi Medical Center graduation exercises will be held 10 a.m. on Friday, May 24th in the Mississippi Coliseum. For your convenience, several dining options across campus will be open this afternoon. Mr. Antoine Marshall, who will receive a Master of Music, will lead us in singing the alma mater. The words are printed in the back of your program. Please note, in keeping with the setting of today's ceremony, there will not be a formal recessional. Please come forward and lead us, Mr. Marshall.
Way down south in Mississippi, there's a spot that ever calls, where among the hills enfolded stand old alma mater's halls, where the trees lift high their branches to the whispering southern breeze. There old Miss is calling, calling to our hearts fond memories.
Congratulations, class of 2024. This ceremony would not be complete without asking you one last time. Now that you've graduated, you have the world of opportunities at your feet. Are you ready? Congratulations, we are adjourned.